Well, 2025 is upon us, and I believe the month of January is going to be classified as World Carnivore Month. How about that? That's exciting. But what will 25 hold for the carnivore diet community? What surprises are in store? What do we expect will change? What's going to happen? So today in this video, I want to break down what I see happening. Now, I can only guess like anybody else, but I'm part of this community. I talk to a lot of people. I see trends around me. So I wanted to share some of my thoughts today on what I see happening with carnivore in the next 12 months. Some of these changes I think are exciting and others are more challenging. I want to divide my thoughts up today into a number of different areas. I want to talk about, first of all, the amazing carnivore community itself. I want to talk about what happens in 2025 when we go shopping or when we go and see our local doctor, what will happen there. I want to talk about what governments are going to do. That's always an exciting subject. We want to talk, let's see, what else have I got here? I want to talk about the research that we can expect to see on carnivore next year. And of course, we have to talk about Big Pharma and Big Food, because they will certainly have a role in 2025 as far as the carnivore diet is concerned. And then we might talk about a few other categories if we get time, but we don't want to be here all day, so let's jump straight into it. First of all, let me talk about the amazing, wonderful, fantastic, awesome carnivore community. I believe we're going to get bigger and bigger and bigger next year. I just went on to Google Trends, which tells you how many searches are made for different topics. And in this graph here, it shows you that searches for carnivore diet really began to take off back in 2022, but at the top of this graph we have 2024, our present moment. So you can see this is an area exploding in interest. If you follow YouTube, and of course you do because you're watching me, if nothing else, YouTube is exploding in interest with the carnivore diet. There are more and more carnivore channels every day. Some people, if you were in my shoes, would think, well, that's a threat because there's more competition. I don't think that at all. My attitude is that we want more and more people talking about this. The more voices out there telling the story, the more people talking about this, the more people we're going to influence. And the whole social media thing is where it really happens, because this has always been, from the very beginning, a grassroots movement. It's from the bottom up. Don't ever expect it to be the top down. We might see some very slow, gradual changes there, but what's driving this is normal people like you telling your story and getting the word out there and changing one person at a time. So we're going to see a bigger, growing community, and I think that's exciting. So let me talk about going shopping next year when you're on the carnivore diet. I think we're going to see increasing stupidity from supermarkets. And in Australia right now, we've got this whole debate about injecting the meat or the cattle with this bovine or whatever it's called to make the cows fart less, would you believe? Because that's going to affect global warming. For goodness sake, they think we're idiots, don't they? That's not going to affect anything. Yeah, it's just absolutely crazy, but expect supermarkets to do crazy things. We might see warning labels on meat, or we might see increased taxation on meat. I trust supermarket meat less and less every day, and we're going to see an increase of people going to their local butcher or their local farm gate provider, even better in my opinion. But we're going to see retail shift, and the growing carnivore community are going to become increasingly disillusioned with their supermarket, and they'll be going somewhere else. While we're on the subject of supermarkets, I think they are as complicit as hell when it comes to marketing, because they are the ones filling their aisle with garbage that Big Food is producing. What really riles me is the cereal aisle at your supermarket. Now you've got me started. All of these cereals with cartoons on them, deliberately being marketed to children, and they're full of sugar and rubbish and preservatives and colorings and all sorts of things, and yet they'll put healthy on the box. This is just organised crime. You know, this shouldn't happen. If you want to buy cigarettes in this country, they'll be hidden in a cupboard. They'll have big warning labels on it. That's what the warning labels should be on, not on meat, but upon the cereal products that we're selling, particularly marketed to children. Got that off my chest. So what about local doctors? This is a really interesting area because doctors on the whole have been at loggerheads with the carnivore community. Particularly when you go to your doctor, you're on carnivore, they'll tell you you shouldn't do it and tell you all the reasons why. They're suddenly nutrition experts, which we know they've had no training in. But the bigger concern, of course, of all for carnivores is that they'll see your LDL is high and immediately they have a trigger reaction that they want to put you on a statin without looking at the whole picture of the whole of your blood work and the whole of your health picture. And I think we're going to see I think we're going to actually see a bit of a growth in doctors who are prepared to look at more than just their drug list when it comes to treating patients. Hallelujah. You know, we want more doctors like Dr. Avi that I interviewed on this channel just 2 weeks ago, who calls herself a lifestyle prescription doctor, a low-carb doctor, and she prescribes lifestyle and diet as part of what she does in her medical practice. And she actually helps people on their chosen diet to achieve their health goals and takes into account the whole picture. Now, I think we're going to see, it'll be slow, but there will be an increasing number of doctors out there who are saying, yeah, we have to cater for this community because it's growing. And I've got a growing number of patients walking in the door wanting to talk about carnivore diet and wanting support in that lifestyle. I'm desperately hoping we'll also begin to see a change in medical training that will include more lifestyle training, more nutrition training, so that doctors at least have some understanding of diet and exercise and lifestyle upon your health. I'm just beyond words to know why, when food is such a key ingredient in disease and your diet is a key factor, I'm not saying it's the only factor, but it's a key factor, that doctors ignore it altogether. It wasn't until I went to see my current doctor, in all of my 68 years, no doctor ever asked me, what do I eat, until my present doctor. I hope and I pray that that's going to change and we're going to see more doctors being prepared to look at things holistically and embrace diet and lifestyle. I also think in 2025, expect to see more research coming out. Now, it'll be called research, but the research that will come out won't be on the benefits of the carnivore diet. It will be upon the risks of the carnivore diet. Now, when these studies come out, as they'll surely be coming now, I can assure you that they will be coming, do you know who they're going to be funded by? They will be funded by Big Pharma and, of course, Big Food, but mostly Big Pharma. All you have to do on these research studies, follow the money, because they are trying to discredit the carnivore community and the carnivore diet. But expect to see more research. They always tell us, of course, that there's the money, the real money for the pharmaceutical companies is in sick people. There is no money in healthy people and there is no money in dead people. So the only way the pharmaceutical companies make money is for you to be sick. And then they have the drugs and the prescriptions that they're ready to market and to push. And that's a whole topic on its own. So this is really my next point. What's going to happen with Big Pharma and Big Food? You know, I think their strategy to date has been pretty much to ignore carnivore and it'll go away. They've sort of seen it as, you know, it's just another fad diet. Like we've had 1,000 fad diets in the past. It'll come, it'll rise, it'll peak, and then it'll slowly slide away. But they're beginning to see this thing is growing with momentum. It's getting bigger every day, and it's going to explode even further in 2025. Now, these people have got unlimited money, and they've got unlimited lawyers. And they can do great damage. And I believe that in the next year, in 2025, we're going to see the Big Pharma and Big Food go more aggressively and work more aggressively to discredit to discredit the carnivore diet and to discredit the doctors at the peak of this that are driving this, to discredit the voices that are calling for change. They're going to come thick and fast in 2025 because the stakes are so high, because if this thing gains any more momentum, it spells serious financial disaster for these companies, and I think that'll be a great day. Now, when it comes to the media in 2025, as far as the carnivore diet, expect to see a greater polarization. There will continue to be articles written, stupid headlines that take some obscure study from somebody or some big pharma source and create a sensational headline out of it. We'll see that silly nonsense going on, but I think that we'll see more supportive headlines and more articles coming out supporting the carnivore community, and it's going to be increasingly polarized. I think also we're going to see an increase in the releasing of documentaries. Now, we of course have Kerry Mann and his Healing Humanity that I believe is due out next year, and that's going to be a great day. It's going to be a powerful documentary that I believe is going to be world-changing. But expect to see documentaries coming out discrediting carnivore as well. There's going to be a sudden increase of these because they'll become popular in 2025. So what does all of this mean for you and I? The ordinary people on the ground, the grassroots community who are on the carnivore diet. I think it means two things. I think we've got to be more informed than we've ever been before. So read the news reports, read the studies that come out, read books, listen to more YouTube videos, get as informed as you can, and more important even still is to keep telling your story. Find some way of communicating. Start a YouTube channel. It doesn't matter how small it is when it starts, these things take off and grow. But get your voice out there, write articles, put things on social media, keep posting progress reports of your own story. Use every means possible to tell your story, because that's where the real change happens. You know, if I tell you my opinion, you can disagree. But when I tell you my story, that's powerful. That's why I always say at the end of every video, don't I, to keep telling your story. So that's a few thoughts that I had about 2025 for the carnivore community. I really believe that 2025 could be a real game changer for those of us on the carnivore diet. But what about you? What do you see as the challenges, as the changes, as the things you're excited about, as the things you're concerned about regarding the carnivore diet and 2025? I would love to hear from you. Please put your opinion, your thoughts in the comments below, because your context might be very different to mine and you might have a different perspective. We need to hear from you, and that's what this is all about. So look, as I said, I just interviewed my own doctor just a couple of videos back, and it was a fantastic interview touching on all of the really crucial topics with carnivores and their doctors. And if you missed that, I will leave a link to it just above here and you can watch it there. I will see you on the next video, and until then, keep telling your story.